Alright, Potterheads, buckle up and grab your butterbeer mugs. The first look at John Lithgow as Dumbledore just dropped, and let's be honest, the man looks like he could bench press a troll. We've also got Nicholas Flamel and the Centaur Ronan making their cinematic debut, while the Dursleys are still hiding Harry on a remote island, probably somewhere Wi-Fi can't reach. Behind-the-scenes photos and leaks are flooding the internet faster than a quitted snitch on caffeine, and the gossip cauldron is boiling over with rumors that Voldemort might be a woman this time. Yep, the Dark Lady rises apparently. So yeah, you asked for a Harry Potter episode, you got one. Hit that like button, summon your owl, whatever you gotta do, because I'm about to spill all the latest wizarding tea. Let's start with the fun fact. John Lithgow is 6'4", 133 centimeters, and 79 years old. That's why everyone thought his Dumbledore looked like he was about to body slam a basilisk in those first set photos. People even suspected camera tricks, platforms, stilts, or some Robert Downey Jr. in Avengers shoe magic. But nope, that's just Lithgow being naturally built like a medieval wardrobe. And honestly, he looks fantastic. The costume design is on point, but the real MVP here is HBO's costume department, who apparently styled the clothes underneath the robe too. Because yes, even under his wizard drip, Dumbledore's got layers. You don't see that level of detail in movies these days, but HBO clearly said, hold my wand. Someone snapped a photo of Lithgow between takes, showing his under-robe outfit, and it's surprisingly intricate and a little goofy, which is exactly what we need, because Dumbledore shouldn't just be a wise old powerhouse, he should also be a bit of an eccentric grandpa who occasionally forgets where he put his wand. The later Potter films kind of forgot that and turned him into a testy gym bro who yells at teenagers. So yeah, Lithgow's got plenty of room to bring his own flavor to the character, and it's looking promising. Now, it's not just Hogwarts headmaster stealing the spotlight. The leaked footage also shows Lambert Wilson and Martha Keller, who will play Nicholas and Perenelle Flamel, you know, the couple that basically invented immortality before it was cool. Judging by the setup, the scene is about transferring the Philosopher's Stone to Hogwarts, which is a big deal because, surprise, that never actually happened on page in the books. In Rowling's text, Dumbledore's deal with the Flamels was just mentioned in passing, like a throwaway line at a dinner party. So what's HBO doing? They're mining every tiny, unexplored moment from the novels and turning them into fully fleshed out scenes. It's like they went, hey, what if we make the footnotes into plot lines? And honestly, that's a genius move. Instead of rehashing the old Warner Bros. Movies shot for shot, they're expanding the lore, giving us more backstory, more dialogue, more magic politics. Here's another fun tidbit. That clapperboard we saw in the behind-the-scenes photo, it said this Flamel conversation happens in episode 2, which already changes the pacing in a major way. In the original book, Harry, Ron, and Hermione spend half the story wondering what Hagrid smuggled out of Gringotts Inn into Hogwarts. It was a proper mystery, full of wild theories, paranoia, and Hermione doing her best detective impression. Only after New Year's did she piece it together and go, wait, it's the Philosopher's Stone. But in the HBO series, Dumbledore is straight up chatting with Flamel about it by episode 2. That's like opening your mystery novel and finding the killer confessing on page 10. But to be fair, HBO knows we've all read the books, seen the movies, and lived through a decade of memes. The surprise factor's long gone. So instead of trying to recreate fake suspense, they're doing something smarter. Showing the story from multiple perspectives, not just Harry and friends sneaking around after bedtime, but the adults, the teachers, the secret keepers, everyone. It's basically Game of Thrones Hogwarts edition, and that's honestly a refreshing direction. Oh, and let's not forget the other surprise guest, Ronan the Centaur. Yep, our forest philosopher finally makes his big screen debut. In the books, Ronan mostly shows up to say cryptic stuff about Mars being bright tonight. But HBO seems to be giving him some actual screen time. Judging by the set leaks, he's not just standing around looking majestic. He's got dialogue, attitude, and a mane that could star in its own shampoo commercial. Meanwhile, the internet's gone full detective mode. Every day brings a new leak. Blurry photos, shaky videos, or some crew member's cousin's TikTok claiming they saw Voldemort but girl boss. And yeah, rumor has it the Dark Lord might be reimagined as a woman, which could either be revolutionary or the internet's next meltdown. Still, that chaos is kind of perfect. The leaks, the arguments, the memes, it all means one thing. People care again. The wizarding world hasn't felt this alive in years. Looks like Dumbledore's not the only one getting extra screen time. According to new reports, Jay Karan has been cast as Ronan, one of the centaurs from the Forbidden Forest, and that's actually awesome news. In the books, the tension between Hagrid and centaurs was one of those great slow burn storylines that paid off big time later, especially during Umbridge's field trip to Trauma Town in Order of the Phoenix. But in the movies, the Centaurs were basically background furniture with hooves. Ronan, along with another Centaur named Bane, originally showed up during the investigation of the dead unicorns and popped in again a few times later. So yeah, that's another corner of the Potterverse HBO plans to explore in depth, and I'm all for it. The more world building, the better. Moving on, we've also got new set photos from the classic Dursley's Escape to the Island sequence, where Uncle Vernon decides the best way to stop Harry from going to Hogwarts is to exile the kid like he's on some kind of low-budget reality show. Funny thing though, the young actor Dominic McLaughlin, who plays Harry, wasn't actually in the scene. They used a stand-in instead because of strict child labor regulations. Apparently, HBO's been juggling multiple doubles to keep filming on schedule since kids can only work a limited number of hours. Smart move, though I imagine explaining to a stand-in that they're about to be locked in a shack by a stormy sea must have been an experience. The scene's visuals also caught fans' attention. The bright early 90s color palette, the vintage props, and most importantly, not a single smartphone in sight. According to Daily Mail, that's no coincidence. HBO reportedly spent $1.5 billion on sets, yes, billion with a B, and implemented top-secret on-set security protocols. Crew members get code words before heading to location shoots and communicate like Cold War spies to avoid leaks. All messages are sent through self-deleting chats, and phones? Yeah, those are banned outright. Sounds like Fort Knox with magic wands, except it's not really working. Despite all the cloak and dagger secrecy, fans and random bystanders are out here with drones and telephoto lenses, catching every possible angle of production. And tender sequences have already leaked online, including shots of Hogwarts in motion, which looks wild, by the way. And here's a fun twist. Unlike the old films that use real stations and functioning trains, HBO is reportedly building fully practical models for the series. Yep, not just CGI, but actual moving, tangible sets. That's commitment. So even if their no phones rule works about as well as a chocolate teapot, at least we're getting Hogwarts with craftsmanship worthy of a museum display. Alright, grab your wallets, fellow muggles, because HBO's not just making a show, they're building an entire wizarding empire. Word is, once filming wraps, the studio plans to open a massive Harry Potter theme park, featuring every major set, from Hogwarts to Godric's Hollow, the latter being a surprise inclusion since it barely appeared in the books until Deathly Hallows. Apparently, HBO wants fans to walk through every major location right from the start, and judging by the money they've thrown at this thing, it's going to be more immersive than a VR potion class. Few leaks have escaped from that part of production, but insiders report that HBO spent a long time filming scenes with James and Lily Potter, and yes, they're getting way more screen time than ever before. It's likely the show will expand the flashback to 1981, the night Voldemort showed up, Lily screamed, and baby Harry became the most famous orphan in Britain. Set photos even show Uncle Vernon's car and a crowd wizard celebrating in the streets, just like in the book, when the whole magical world partied over you-know-who's downfall. That kind of obsessive attention to detail is refreshing. Every tiny moment is being shot with care, which hints that episodes might run an hour or more, maybe even longer. And honestly, that's how we should be. TV episodes have gone so short lately, it's depressing. Peacemaker hyped itself to the moon and then ended with a finale shorter than my patience for reboots. Stranger Things, on the other hand, nailed the formula. Hour-long episodes and a 2-hour finale that actually felt like a finale. If HBO gives Harry Potter that same kind of breathing room, real pacing, real emotion, real world building, it could actually feel magical again, instead of another nostalgic cast grab. Now, let's talk scandals. The first one, Uncle Vernon is too handsome. Yep, Reddit's losing its mind because the new actor is supposedly too fit, too normal looking, and not the cartoonishly grumpy lump we all remember. But honestly, that's one controversy I can get behind. The original Harry Potter books were products of their time. The fat equals mean trope was basically mandatory back then. But this time around, HBO seems to be saying, what if Vernon was awful because of his personality, not his waistline? Shocking concept, I know. Let the man be a jerk in spirit, not in BMI. The second scandal is Mean Gold. Some outlets claim HBO is considering Tilda Swinton for a gender-swapped Voldemort, aka Lady Voldemort. On paper, terrifyingly elegant. In reality, probably fake. Most of these reports trace back to random fan accounts with about 10 followers and a dream. So yeah, sounds more like creative fan fiction than an actual casting leak. That said, it's still kind of hilarious imagining Swinton whispering Avada Kedavra like she's doing performance art at a museum. And just when fans finished arguing about hot Uncle Vernon and Lady Voldemort, the Hollywood Reporter dropped a bombshell. Apparently, Netflix might be eyeing Warner Bros. Film division. Cue instant panic across the fandom. People were already envisioning the Witcher-style chaos, race swaps, lore rewrites, and a Dobby dance number. But thankfully, Netflix officially denied the rumors, saying they're not planning to buy WB. So for now, everyone can exhale. The wizarding world stays under HBO's wand and not in the hands of the everything is a musical now crowd over at Netflix. Alright, here's where things get sneaky. The main contender to buy Warner Bros. And by extension the Harry Potter franchise is still Paramount, which means we're talking Michael Bay level explosions and testosterone, but without going totally off the rails. Now, the biggest overpowered character in the Potterverse is unsurprisingly Professor Snape. And here's the kicker, absolutely zero shots of him exist so far. Zip. Nada. Why? Our loyal viewers already know the deal. HBO is protecting the actor like he's a rare phoenix egg, holding him back until we've all fallen in love with the amazing Dumbledore, Hagrid, and Harry, and marveled at the $15 billion Hogwarts Express set. Once our excitement reaches critical mass, Snape will finally appear, making it practically impossible for anyone to quit the project without feeling like a jerk. Hollywood's obsession with this keep the actor secret until maximum hype tactic is baffling. But hey, that's showbiz. Most of Snape's scenes happen inside Hogwarts, which makes it even easier for HBO to keep them under wraps until release. Hogwarts itself is mostly being shot in closed sound stages, so leaks from those locations should be minimal. Some insider reports hint that they're already filming scenes in a bigger, healthier looking Great Hall and a revamped Gryffindor common room. Details are sparse, but fans will likely have to wait for HBO's official reveals. Considering the series is slated for early 2027 and the franchise loves a New Year release, we might finally see a teaser or poster around Christmas 2026. Fingers crossed. Here's the cool part, the series seems to have settled on its creative direction. The movies and books mostly told the story through Harry's eyes, which worked fine. Rowling herself improvised plot points book to book. HBO, however, is aiming for a broader perspective on the Wizarding universe. Set photos from the 1981 flashback scenes hint that we could see Sirius Black in episode 1, since he's the one who gives Hagrid the motorcycle. Fun fact, when Rowling wrote Philosopher's Stone, she didn't even know this yet. Movies later retrofitted this into the story, but HBO seems to be taking all of Rowling's lore adjustments and interviews into account up front, immersing us in a fully realized universe from day one. This approach might sacrifice some of the mystery and plot twists, but let's be real. Everyone already knows them, so this seems like the smartest way to deliver something fresh and genuinely unique while still feeling familiar. What do you think? How do you feel about Dumbledore and the idea of introducing all the main characters and locations from season 1 so they're instantly recognizable? Do you believe HBO can successfully protect Snape's reveal until the right moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because clearly we're all going to need to chat about this until 2027.